Hey Aries, how are you? It's LP. Good to see you. Okay, so this is your Valentine's message for Aries. I'm going to have the first section of the video will be for Aries in love, Aries who are in a relationship, and the second part of the video will be for single Aries. And I'd like to remind everyone that there are lots of different types of love, and that there isn't one that's more important than the other. We need the unconditional love in our lives of our parents and our families. We need the brotherly love of friendship and the romantic love of agape. And we also need to really practice self-love and caring for ourselves, taking care of ourselves and doing what we need. So anyway, I will timestamp the video where the singles read begins, but we will start first with Aries in love, Aries who are in relationship, okay? I'm going to start with the romance angels. For Aries in love and Valentine's Day of 2020, please. Aries in love for Valentine's Day 2020, please. Aries who are in relationships on Valentine's Day 2020. What messages for Aries? What message for Aries do we have about their relationship on this Valentine's Day? Message for Aries, please. It's Valentine's Day. Wow, there we go. Jeez. Okay, addictions are affecting your romantic life. Codependency. So I find that people often have a misunderstanding of what codependency means. Codependency doesn't mean two people necessarily counting on each other to keep them dependent on a drug or on something else. A codependent person is someone who enables someone to the point that it allows them the luxury of continuing their addiction. So someone will have a dependency on, say, alcoholism. And the codependent person would be someone who, you know, does their laundry for them and makes a phone call in sick to work if they can't make it, or to school or something like that. This is the person who enables this person to stay dependent on a drug or on whatever their destructive behavior is. So a codependent person is someone who feels like they're trying to help, but their help isn't forcing the person to feel the repercussions of their actions in a real sense. So if someone was like having to deal with like getting fired from their job because they don't make it in all the time, they might look at altering their behavior sooner than if someone was, constantly making excuses for them or calling in for them or going into work for them, that kind of thing. So the codependent person is harming someone by doing what they think is loving and helpful. But the more loving thing to do is to let those chips fall where they may a little bit, because nobody learns something because someone tells them about it. People learn things when they experience the emotion and the real tangible results of their actions. Okay? So Aquarius, there are some addictions that are affecting your romantic life. And It could be that someone in your realm is helping you stay, I want to say unwell. And let's be honest, if there's an addiction involved here, that's not very attractive. I don't mean like hot or not. I mean, it is not, it doesn't have the, it doesn't pull people toward you. It repels people a bit more. So let's get some, I'm using the Tarot of Sexual Magic for these couples reads. So the graphics on these cards are pretty, they're pretty graphic. They're rather sexy. There's a lot of boobs and butts and bondage. So if you're offended by any images like that, you might not want to watch this video. But that's fair warning there. But I wanted to use them because they are, you know, they're about sexual magic. And Valentine's Day, a lot of what we think about with Valentine's Day is sexual energy or romance. So I wanted to see what we get in this tarot deck for these readings. This deck is newer to me, so I tend to read it in two ways. They have almost completely different meanings for each of the cards than on traditional tarot. So what I kind of do is I sort of intuitively read the picture and as well as interpret it with a little bit of what I know from traditional tarot. But if it's not making sense to me, I may look it up just to see if it will resonate more if we read their meanings. So what's the situation here? We know that there's some addiction, and this could be addiction. It doesn't have to be addiction to drugs, alcohol. It could be gambling. It can be sex. It can be your phone that just came in. So, you know, someone could be really staring at screens a lot. But let's see what the situation is here. The Knight of Pentacles. So in traditional tarot, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight on the deck, but they are coming forward with an offer of abundance and stability. Okay. In this image, this knight is offering her, looks like some fruit or a piece of, yeah, like some food. Food is something else that people can be addicted to. So there's, your person might be actually not only making it easier for you to indulge in whatever you're doing, but they might also be literally handing you whatever this thing is that that you're addicted to. They could be making this offer to you. They may be offering this substance, activity, whatever it is. They might be offering it to you. Because what I see when I, you know, I hadn't thought of food as an addiction, which it's like a major addiction. It's one of the only things that I have difficulty controlling in my life. So it's definitely something people can lack control over. And that was the first thing I thought of when I saw him handing her food, is that we're talking about codependency here. And in this image, this knight, what he is offering is food, which is something people can be addicted to. So you may have, your person may be contributing to this addiction in more than a codependent way, but in an overt way. All right, so let's see what else we get here. Yeah, there's not really any other way to read that. I'm just trying to think if there's another way to interpret this, where your person is trying to, well, it is them trying to help, right? this person thinks they're helping. If they're codependent, they think they're helping. So, they think they're helping by handing you this thing, but it's addictive. It's addictive, and it's affecting your romantic life. It could be that you have had difficulty now with getting through life without this thing, whatever this thing is, and that it becomes a bit of okay, sorry about that. My husband is going out to shovel and he had his snow pants on, so it was noisy. So anyway, sorry to pause there. Yeah, so there's this codependency going on. So your partner is likely offering you, it could be offering you, that's exactly what's happening. They're continuing to try to help you, and that is keeping you in a space where you are more capable of maintaining whatever this addiction is, okay? Let's get some more cards here. What's the obstacle for Aries for Valentine's Day of 2020? What's the obstacle in the romantic life of Aries and their partner on Valentine's Day of 2020, please? Two of Swords. This is the image in this Sexual Magic Tarot. So Two of Swords in traditional tarot is indecision. It is also a person who is blindfolded, who is unable to make a choice. Okay. So I feel like the obstacle is that you aren't seeing this as an addiction. And you aren't seeing this as a problem. And that's the very nature of codependency. That's the very thing that is dangerous about codependency, is that often the person who has the addictive behavior does not recognize it because someone is busy taking care of their life for them. Someone is busy taking care of them and taking care of their life for them. So they don't recognize that it's causing an issue necessarily. They think that life's going pretty well, so what's the problem? It's because you have a codependent person in your life who is working to make sure that life continues to go smoothly for you. Okay. Keep in mind, any of this can be reversed. This can be that you are codependent with someone in your life who has an addiction, okay? And you are caring for them, okay? And you are caring for them and keeping them in a space where they're blindfolded and don't see this as an issue, because you are maintaining their lives in such a way that they really don't even know that there's anything, that's that disruptive going on, okay? So whichever way this goes for you, this is not an easy message, but this is affecting your romantic life, because one or the other of you is spending an awful lot of time picking up the pieces of a bit of a mess, Now, okay, we've got the World. So this is the World card in this deck, in this tarot of sexual magic. It's beautiful. Boobs and butts, told ya. The World is about the completion of a cycle. It's about something coming to an end. It's about also having everything you need, complete wholeness. Can be about travel sometimes, like literal travel. So if this is your suggested action, it's asking you to either try to bring this cycle to a close. Try to end this habit, this cycle that you're in with your partner, where one of you is constantly caring for the other while the other one continues to indulge themselves um, in this behavior or this substance, okay? So this could be calling for you to end this cycle. Stop doing it. Stop caring for someone who is allowing you to pick up the pieces. Or it's time to take a look at your self-indulgent behavior, either with drugs, food, alcohol, gambling, sex. Sometimes it can be self-indulgent, shitty behavior, just acting like a jerk. Just like I feel like acting this way right now, and everybody's got to tiptoe around you. All right, that's self-indulgent too. That is some behavior that could be habit forming at the very least. Okay, so you're being called to end the cycle. Recognize everything that you have. Recognize that you have, you know, a lot going for you that would allow you to make this change. The world can also mean literal travel. So it could be that you need to take some time and go somewhere. But what I think more than anything is that this is referencing this cycle of codependency. Okay? And it's the world is the end of a cycle. So this needs to end. It's time for this cycle to end because it is affecting your romantic life and your personal relationship with your partner. Because one of you is accepting the responsibility of the relationship, and the other of you is, sorry, this is going to come out this way, but the other of you is just taking advantage of that helpful generosity, which is in reality a bit harmful, even though it comes from a space of love and care for someone. So there's like, you know, you can't. You guys are feeding off of each other in this cycle, and it's time to break this cycle. It's time to end this cycle. Possible outcome for Aries in love on Valentine's Day of 2020, please. Possible outcome for Aries in love for Valentine's Day of 2020. Possible outcome for Aries. We have this is reversed. 5 of Cups reversed. So this is the 5 of Cups in this deck. And then we have the 4 of Cups upright. So the 5 of Cups is in traditional tarot. Well, let's look at it on this picture. It feels a bit the same. The 5 of Cups, when it's upright, is about looking at what you've lost emotionally and not appreciating what you have, left for you. There are 3 cups left up, 3 cups spilled and 2 cups left upright. This is a disruption. This isn't easy, okay? But it's reversed. So I think that it's going to help the two of you, if that's how many are in your relationship. It's going to help you to appreciate what someone has to offer, what each of you has to offer. You're not going to just be looking at the negative aspects of your emotion and how draining this all is. If you can end this cycle, you're going to be able to appreciate what each of you offers emotionally. And then 4 of Cups. Here's 4 of Cups. It's interesting because they're like almost contradictory messages of what could happen. Because the 4 of Cups, in traditional tarot, is someone refusing an emotional offering. someone, okay, but I think this makes sense because in Four of Cups, they are staring at their upright cups, okay? And in Five of Cups, they're ignoring their upright cups. So, and the Five of Cups is reversed here. So, I think that what this is saying is that your outcome will be that you will, if you end this cycle, you will better be able to recognize the emotional connection that the two of you have. It's going to bring this romantic life and um, this loving relationship. The love that you have for each other is going to be recognized more. You're going to be looking at those full cups of emotion for each other more. Be prepared for someone to not have an easy go of this. Obviously, anytime you're dealing with addiction, you are you have to manage all kinds of withdrawal and shame. There's a lot of feelings of shame and guilt, and you know it's going to take patience and love and kindness to each other and to yourselves to get past this. I do want to see, I'm just interested to see what they say about Four of Cups in this one. Yeah, it says immobility, habit, and indifference caused by routine must be fought. So that makes a lot of sense because you're going to have to fight habits. You know, the outcome is that you will have to resist the urge to fall back into old habits with this codependency and with this addiction. Of course, with addiction, that's how it goes. And you know, we get as accustomed to um, dealing with addiction to the point where it almost becomes you know, it's habit forming. So you're going to have the like a resistance, and then you know you're going to have to fight the urge to go back to old behaviors because they're learned behaviors. Okay. um the Five of Cups, the weight of the past and consequences is always remembered, but must be left behind to break overly oppressive attachments. You must open yourself to adventure and freedom. But it came in reverse. So, you know, you might be able to, like I had thought, you might be able to, it might work a bit for you to let go of this negativity. You're ready to turn around and see like the more positive aspects of emotion in your life. But it's, you know, it takes time, and you're going to have to resist old habits. Okay. So we're going to get one message for Aries from their partner. One message from Aries from their partner for Aries for Valentine's Day of 2020. One message for Aries from their partner. You are so sexy. So, yeah, this addiction has affected your romantic life, but it hasn't affected how they feel about you. They're very attracted to you still. They're very attracted to you still. Physically, for sure. The behavior that you are illustrating, or again, this could be flip-flopped. Your partner is very attracted to you. That still remains. That still remains the case, which is great because that always helps, right? Especially when dealing with difficult things. So, all right, Aries. So now I am going to shuffle up these cards and we are going to note the time. Hi, 25. So at 25 seconds is when we will start the reading for single Aries, okay? All right, single Aries. Happy Valentine's Day. We are reminding ourselves that there are a few different types of love in our lives, and all of them are important. We have the unconditional love of family and parents, children. We have brotherly love, philia. We have the that's of friends, friendship, camaraderie. We have the love of agape. Agape is the unconditional love. We have the eros love, which is passionate love, and we have love of self. So all of these are important. And for this reading, we're going to do a love reading for people who aren't in relationship right now. Okay. So what message do we have for Aries? We're all capable of love. We are all deserving of love. What message do we have for single Aries for Valentine's Day of 2020, please? What message do we have for single Aries Valentine's Day 2020, please? What message, please? Single Aries Valentine's Day of 2020. Okay, we got 2. Separation, time apart from your partners on the horizon. So you probably are, and then you have divine timing is at work in your love life. Okay, so separation. Aries, you're likely separated from someone. This could be recently. It could be not recently. This reading is about both past relationships. It's about new relationships coming in, and it can be about different interpersonal relationships. But this is specifically speaking to your partner, okay? So it's saying that time apart from your partner is on the horizon. I'm thinking that that's likely already happened since we're talking to single Aries, and that divine timing is at work, okay? So what I want you to remember right now, Aries, is that the separation that you're going through, of course, is difficult, but if you can bring yourself to sit in it, to breathe through it, know that there's something that's worth waiting for on the horizon for you. There's divine timing at work here. You know, you're where you need to be right now. Even though where you are right now doesn't feel great, understand that there is something that is worth waiting for on the horizon for you. Okay? All right, so we're going to use traditional tarot for the singles read. What message do we have? What messages do we have today for single Aries on Valentine's Day of 2020? So we are talking about what is the situation here. We know that they are separated from someone, a partner, and that there is some divine timing working for them. I just got that for some of you, this won't be for all of you, but for some of you, this separation might be temporary, okay? Someone might learn something from this separation and make their way back. Of course, it doesn't mean that you have to take them back, right? Because you need to decide what's good for you, okay? So we have the Three of Cups. And if this is the situation that you are in right now, in this separation, you may be spending a lot of time with friends. You may be celebrating a lot. You may be drinking a lot. The other way to read this card is that, the situation that you are in is that there is a third party involved in this situation, in this separation. It could be that one of you was bringing another person into the relationship, or it could be that now during this separation, one of you is pursuing something new. But this doesn't always have to mean that there's a third party situation. And in fact, often it means that this is a time of celebration and drinking. What's coming to my mind right now too is that this being the holiday, Valentine's Day holiday, I would say that you might be deciding to celebrate with friends for this Valentine's Day evening. You might get together with girlfriends and go out drinking, or with your guy friends and go out drinking, or with your whatever friends. Doesn't matter. Gender is not specific. Doesn't matter. But you know, your situation might be that you're going to make that choice for this holiday because it's really difficult for people who are single often, especially if they're just coming out of a relationship. Okay. Or you just might be, that just might be the space that you're sitting in right now anyway, is that you're spending a lot of time with friends over glasses of wine, or out drinking and dancing, or drinking tea curled up on someone's couch. You know, you are relying on your friends, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. What's the obstacle for Aries Valentine's Day of 2020? What's the obstacle, please? Obstacle for Aries, please. Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving out of calm water or rough waters and into calmer waters, into brighter days. But in this position, in the obstacle position, what I see this as is what I notice that is negative about this card. Because it looks positive, right? This person is moving out of more troubled waters into brighter days. That's great. However, this person is carrying with them all of those swords, and those swords represent oppressive thought. They represent thoughts. They don't have to be necessarily oppressive thoughts, but there's a lot that's on your mind that you're carrying around with you, that you're taking into your future with you. And it might be good to lay some of those down, okay? What is the suggested action? What's the suggested action for Aries, please? What's the suggested action for Aries, please? Aries, it looks like you are spending some nights up this here. This time it is oppressive thought, okay? So yeah, I think that's a clarifier for this. No, the cards are like, no, those are oppressive thoughts. Those aren't just thoughts. This person's having sleepless nights. There's sleepless nights involved here because they can't get this stuff out of their head, okay? This separation really weighs heavy. It causes you, you know, a lot of stress and worry, a lot of nights where you can't, it's very difficult for you to fall asleep. Okay, so what should Aries do? What suggested action? We know that they need to recognize that divine timing is at work, spend time with their friends. Okay, so there is, so the devil reversed. The devil upright talks about things that we do in an addictive way, things that we do not, that we allow to consume us, like this. Okay? So your suggested action is to break this obsession. Your suggested action is to stop doing the things that you're doing too much of. Is it this? Is it drinking? with friends too much? Is that helping you? Um, is that what it's referencing? Or is it, you know, this obsessive thought process that you have going on here? This is anything that people do too much of. Anything that makes them feel bound, chained, upset, um, maybe not upset, bound or chained to something. Anything someone's um, powerless over or feels powerless over. Anything that consumes you. Okay, and it's time to end this. Okay, it's time to take steps to end this obsessive thought about this separation. You got Four of Cups. I was asking for some more clarification here. So there are people, or there may be people who are making emotional offers to you that you are refusing. And that is not such a great idea for you. You could use the support. People are trying to talk to you on an emotional level. And because this, there's this refusal going on, it's keeping you stuck in this space. This could also be that either you need to make an emotional offer to someone, or someone you need to refuse an emotional offer from someone. I think maybe that's it. Whoever you're separated from could be keeping this portion of things alive for you. Whoever you're separated from could be participating in behavior that encourages you to stay here. To stay here. This person might like knowing that you are waiting for them to come back. And I don't think that you should continue to let them, you should definitely not continue to let them manipulate you emotionally. They likely come in and poke you just enough to keep you here. They poke you just enough to keep you here. They don't want you all the way gone. They don't want you all the way gone. Let me get some more cards here. They like knowing that you're there for them if they need you. And your action steps are to end this chain. Quit, unchain yourself from the situation, and quit accepting this emotional manipulation. Do not accept it. Look instead at the emotion that you have here, that you have from other people and other things and other areas of your life, and do not accept this emotional manipulation. Don't do it. Break this cycle.